Hello, welcome to Christian Men Unscripted. I'm here with on location in John Harney's house, office. As you can see, he's very smart because he's got a lot of books. That's where his daughter gets it from. This is his daughter, Grace Harney.
Hi.
The grammar police, my nemesis.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm also here with Seth. He's back. He wasn't here last week. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about how your daughter likes to correct all my grammar.
Yeah, I think let's...
Well, I will tell you, I was telling her before, every time I put something on TikTok or Instagram and I spell something wrong or put a wrong punctuation, everybody reminds me and tells me. I just laugh.
Yeah.
Just put it through Chat GPT. And then
I do that now. It's great. AI is the best.
ChatGPT isn't always right.
Yeah, it's true.
It is for me. It's better
Look,
than me.
Yeah, but look, that one right away. It's like she's correcting that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, let me correct that thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yeah, we
Or
always have to joke.
Grammarly. Do you do Grammarly? You can do that. That's pretty good.
Man, I don't.
Yeah.
Valley High School, 1991, 1.9 grade point average. I'm doing pretty good right now.
Hey, when you graduated?
You graduated.
91, 1.9.
D's get degrees.
920
Not too
out of
sure about
1,000.
that.
I was 920 in my class out of 1,000.
Nice.
There's people worse than me.
Yeah.
There's always people worse than you.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. That makes me feel good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always people better than you, too, though.
There's plenty of people better than me.
You can't have. You can't
There's
have
three
pride.
right here.
That's why pride really. You just try to compare yourself to other people and say I'm better than them, but there's always people who are better than you.
Yeah.
You just gotta remind yourself.
Comparison
There's a
is
lot
the
of people
thief of
better
joy.
than,
Yeah, exactly. You can't be comparing.
I
yourself
never compare
'cause-
myself. I don't really care.
But,
But you just
goals,
did.
though.
You literally just did.
No,
you're like
I didn't.
I'm
I said I don't care.
920th out of 1,000. So
Fair.
you compared yourself. There.
In a humble way.
You know what, you guys? So, like usual, we seriously did not come up with the topic at all today. By the time you're listening to this,
I don't even know
Thanksgiving
who
was
this
already
is.
passed.
We just brought his
That's my
daughter
daughter,
in.
Grace.
Oh, okay. No.
She goes to Grand
But-
Canyon University, correct?
Yes.
When do you graduate?
I graduate in April.
Oh, very cool. All
Wow.
right.
Yeah.
You're
see,
old.
Yes.
I'm a college
I'm
dropout,
old.
so it's
Yeah, I can't
perfect.
believe
I
it.
never went. As we just
Yeah.
probably would have never got in.
Hey, but you know what, though?
No one would
Let's-
have accepted you.
We can kind of talk about that for a minute.
Well, first of all,
go.
let's see why we're here. Because you are making Thanksgiving dinner and you have to do all the cooking while your wife is drinking beer and watching the football games.
That's what she does. That's what she does. We got a lot of pray for our family.
It's totally opposite.
Yeah,
No.
pray for us, man.
Anyway.
Yeah, by the time you're listening to this, I hope that everyone had an awesome Thanksgiving. I hope that their Thanksgiving was amazing.
Yep.
We're actually recording this, right before Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I hope
Yeah,
you're
happy
having
Thanksgiving
a
to you,
nice
yeah.
week here so far. But I
great.
hope people listened to this and had a great Thanksgiving
Yeah.
and genuinely were thankful. We always joke that we don't think of a topic usually even before we even get started, unless we have like a guest who comes with a topic.
I didn't know we had 4 chairs here for a second. They're like, why are there 4 chairs? And then you're like, oh, my daughter's
I'm gonna have
coming.
my
I was
daughter
like,
come
all
on here just to help
Sounds
us out
good.
here.
I wasn't told anything.
No.
Yeah.
I feel blindsided.
That's how this goes.
That's how it goes every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we do this.
And you're a tattoo artist, and you have like someone coming to
I
get a
do.
tattoo in a few
I
minutes.
do, yep.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. What started your tattooing
Journey.
journey? That's good. Yeah.
I saw an ad on Instagram that a fine line tattoo artist here in Vegas was doing a class, so I
Oh.
wanted to do it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So then I did it.
Then you did it.
Okay,
That's
you're going to
great.
have to explain what is a fine line tattoo artist.
It's just super thin needles.
Yeah, instead of being a thick needle, it's a thin needle.
It looks
Fine
very
line.
dainty, so it's like
Oh.
very, I guess.
That's so Seth would really need one, probably.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I actually just talked
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
I sent her a few links. I was like,
That
I
makes
was
sense.
like,
That
I
makes
want a
sense.
flower and a butterfly.
Yeah.
and those
I
are
just
the-
wanted to write Christian Men Unscripted on your tramp stamp after the show, and then we can post it.
It'll be very thin and dainty, so it'll be very nice.
Matching
And then we can
trips.
post it.
Perfect.
Yeah, so check this out. So she's doing that. They barely come home for Thanksgiving break, and no kidding, my house all of a sudden, like every couple of minutes, there's some kid walking in all day, every day, getting tattoos. I'm like, what's happening right here? Like bikers are showing up in front of the house to
Bikers
get
are
their
getting
fine line
dainty.
butterfly.
Yeah. Hey, that's what their gang wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
No, seriously. So I guess it's been a little while, but like all of a sudden she just decided to do it and did it. And you guys, what I'm trying to get at here is you started it a few minutes ago by not comparing yourself, by comparing yourself to everyone, saying you were
No, I
920 in the class.
I didn't. I didn't
You know what
compare.
I
I was
mean.
making a
He was
observation.
making a statistical
But here we've
observation.
got
Thank you.
Yeah.
But look,
Not
we've
my
got
nemesis
my
anymore.
20-year-old daughter, basically.
Your
We're like
nemesis?
50. You got
Shut
him
up,
in his 30s.
Yeah.
So we kind of are running the gamut of like kind of the age and the gender kind of a thing. And let's talk about comparisons for a minute. See, for us, I'm kind of done with comparing. Even though I go in the gym or something and I wish I was still young and strong and all that, I'm kind of like, whatever, I got to give up on this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just told Seth I gave up on it.
Yeah, because we're getting older. But see,
Yeah.
now from her perspective, from a young lady, who, first of all, would probably hardly listen to our show. So maybe she. Some young,
I have listened to a few episodes.
Yeah.
so, like, how do you feel about kind of the pressure of trying to have a goal and trying to compare? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Are
About
kids,
comparison?
Yeah, comparing to other people and success and the stress of that. And like, it was just Thanksgiving, so families maybe got together
Yeah.
and had problems with their kids come home from college. Did the family accept the kids, and are they glad about their journey?
Yeah.
Do you have like a lot of stress about that, trying to like live up to I'm the kid in college?
I would say no, personally. But we were literally just talking about this in my small group. And it's just a group of women, and we were legit talking about how comparison is the thief of joy. And I think that, nowadays social media is so, prevalent in all of our lives, and it's easy to be like, oh, well, she's with a wonderful group of friends and they travel every single weekend, and oh my gosh, she has this and she has this and she has that, and look at her. But we were just talking about how it doesn't matter. We're all created in the image of God, and He's our Father. So really, I know that's hard for families going into Thanksgiving who don't have anybody, but God is our Father, so He loves us very much. And so I don't know. I don't feel like comparison for me is a big deal, but I know that for others it's a really large thing.
So, Grace, you keyed in on something, which is that social media thing, how everyone lives through that. And we have talked about that. Every other
Have
episode
you
it
seen
comes
some
up.
of our comments lately? There's some vulgarity in some of our comments. TikTok's the worst because we have a TikTok channel, and I put some clips on, and the last one was F you and F your God and F this. I'm like, Joe, okay, all right, thanks.
Wow, see, I don't
even
even
wanted
know
to get
that.
off. I'm like, I should just get off of this, but I just laugh. I don't even comment on those ones. They're a little outrageous, but social media, being young and stuff, you kind of have to live with it because it's part of your culture now. We didn't really grow up with it, and I'm learning it and doing it and putting it out there for our podcast, but it drives me crazy.
It's crazy.
Especially you see people, like, I even know, like, I'll see people put stuff on and I go, that's not real. You're making something up right there. That's not your happy life, because I've seen your happy life and it's not that happy. But then you're like, oh, I would like to go to Hawaii.
Yeah,
Be happy for a week.
Yeah,
Totally. Well, I feel like it's marketing in a way. Like, my life is better than yours. Maybe you should try to fix something about yours.
Right.
And I feel like that's really hard
Yeah.
as a young person. Like, I don't need to fix anything.
Right.
God meets me where I am, and then He will transform that. So I don't have to fix anything. I was told a metaphor, and it was like about two like treadmills. Treadmills. And just how
Just treadmill.
like if
Gotcha.
I'm next to, say, Seth on a treadmill, he could be sprinting, and I could be like, I wish that I was sprinting. Like, I wish that I was sprinting, but God has me walking at a slow pace right now. And I can't be like, well, I wish that I was sprinting, because God is like, no, you're walking right now. So
That's
I
where
don't
you
know, I
are in
really
that
liked
journey.
that metaphor.
I like it.
Well, what I like about it too is because I like to just walk on the treadmill.
That's what I do.
So
I do
Same.
I just walk all the time because my knees suck.
I get up there and I put it under like the highest I can go just to like impress people. And I'm just like, look, comparison with me. Compare with me. Look at how awesome I am. No.
well, it is interesting because even like it's Seth being almost 20 years younger than us, but yet you're kind of in the middle of where we're at here. I don't know if by the time you were like playing college sports and stuff, if the whole social media thing was kind of a big deal to kind of make sure that people see you and know that you're playing and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was a big deal then too. Starting that Facebook was the big
MySpace?
thing.
Yeah.
MySpace was gone.
Okay.
At that
Is
point,
Facebook
I'm not
a
that
thing?
old.
I don't even know. Is Facebook still a thing?
Facebook. It depends on where you're at, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I don't
So
see too
when
much
I
of
was
Facebook.
living in Grand Rapids, like depending on the region where you were at,
Yeah.
like you were on Instagram or you were on Facebook. And then Snapchat was obviously around too. It's been around for like 20 years now. or something like
Okay.
that. But
Snapchat's dying.
yeah, Snapchat. So what's new? So those were
X.
things.
Yeah.
But
I don't even know.
but
X.
where
I
I
don't like
was,
X. There's just way
X,
too much
yeah.
stuff on there that's
But
bad.
depending on where I was, like Facebook
I've
was
tried.
really big in the urban setting I was at.
Yeah.
But it wasn't big in the suburban area.
Okay.
And so depending on where you're at, there can be some pressure.
I've been on Facebook for like 5 years now, and it was the 2016 election, which was, so how many years is that? Do the math for me.
A while ago. 8 years.
But I had so many people saying about they hated cops and they hated Trump and this and that was back then, and I was like, I got to get off of here. It's way toxic. I don't even know how it is anymore. Are you on Facebook, Grace?
I am, but
Oh, okay.
I'm my generation is more Instagram, but it's really
well,
polarized.
I'm on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
all
I am,
of
but
those
it's
things
just on
are.
podcast.
Yeah.
All those things are
Well,
so
so
polarized.
now X is like super like right, and then they came up with a new
The
social media
blue-
platform. Yeah, like the Blue Sky or
Blue
whatever
Sky.
it is.
Yeah.
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 So that all the left wing people can be on there. Is that what
Yeah.
that
What were we
is?
going to say?
Yeah.
Left wing or liberals?
Libtards.
That's what I was wondering.
I'm gonna go with it, dude. I'm so sorry if I offend you. Like I know Jesus loves
No,
you,
I
but
mean,
it's
I
like,
call
just-
them lib. They're probably nice
I will
people.
put a clip of,
You know?
I'll put this clip. I'll put this clip on TikTok when you say that, and we'll get so much anger.
I know, and don't be so mad. Why do people get so mad? Well, okay. To be fair, they're allowed to get mad at that. That's derogatory and not nice. Thank you, Seth. I get that because we shouldn't
Seth
be that way.
is libtard.
Yeah. So it's like, so he's fine. So he relates. He wore his blue shirt on purpose
Oh,
today.
jeez, we're never.
Sky,
People are
yeah.
gonna hate us. Oh, man.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Okay, and cut.
Yeah.
Blue Sky. What's your
Blue Sky, yeah.
What's your thing on Blue Sky?
I didn't. It's the first time I'm hearing about Blue Sky. I've never heard of it. I'm old. I don't know about
I
it.
don't I don't go on either one of them, so I don't know.
I heard about
Well-
it on The View. Oh, wait,
Oh,
did I
never
say I
mind.
watched The View?
Yeah,
I
but
watched
see,
clips of it.
But it does suck, dude. Let's be honest. Because of all that, like anything to do with anything now in media, it's just so. I get it. It's probably been polarized since old school colonial day print ads and stuff. I'm sure, right? But now there's just so much of it.
Yeah.
So not only are people polarized politically, like if you're on the right, it's the second you start looking stuff up, it's just going to feed into what they see you're looking up and sharing, right? And so it's just crazy because you'll never get a balanced perspective. You almost can't get one anywhere, anytime, ever anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like, you think about it, us older guys, we didn't have that. So really you kind of just went outside and did your thing, and like the
Yeah.
news was the local news, and the local news used to actually just be the news, right? And so you
Right.
kind of saw what was happening.
Different world.
Now, dude, like these kids, like Grace, they are just they're literally pick a side, and that's by the way the only side you're going to know about.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when we
Yeah.
were that age, I didn't have a side. I didn't know anything about
Right.
politics in my 20s. It's
Right.
crazy. Now it's everywhere. It's everything. Even my son, who just voted, his first time he ever voted, I mean,
Yeah.
he's on that side. Not liberal. He's
Yeah,
voted
he's a conservative kid.
Conservative.
But I mean, so not even to go politics. Okay, just to go with like how young
So-
people now
Yeah.
even kind of find their identity.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, it's funny. She's a little younger. So yesterday, I have neighbors. They have 3 girls. They're young. They play softball, probably 8th grade, 7th grade, 4th girls. And it's funny. They had chalk outlines in a racetrack. And they're out there playing softball. They were out there all day. I could see them.
Oh, that's
Because
great.
apparently they're not in school. But the one girl, I was up there watching TV and I'm with my dogs, and the doorbell rang. I was like, oh, who's that doorbell? I clicked on the Ring camera and nobody's there. So I go downstairs and all the girls are outside. I'm like, did somebody ring my doorbell? And all the girls were like, no. But the littlest one's like, yeah. And then I looked at the camera. She rang it and ran. I was like, you just rang the doorbell when there's a camera there. But I'm
just
laughing
don't
at
know.
it. But I was like, I don't mind that because you're outside. You're doing things.
Yeah.
You're having fun. I did it.
Oh, ding dong ditch.
But there was no cameras.
Yeah.
And they all looked at me scared, and I just laughed at them. I was like, go have fun. It
That's
was
so
funny,
fun.
but you don't see that anymore. You don't see kids doing
well,
that.
yeah, you're
a little
exactly
bit younger,
right. All of
obviously.
us have cameras, so you can't get away with that anymore.
I was like,
Yeah.
there's a camera. You rang a camera doorbell.
They literally push the
Yeah.
ring button
I
thing and
I
run.
want to try and put the video on and show it on the YouTube, but
Oh,
it was
that's so
hilarious.
good.
I
My
was
niece
laughing.
does that here at the house, but
Yeah.
obviously we have like
Except
multiple
she
cameras.
almost got killed.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother story. Her and her, dude, her and her little friend came crawling through my doggy door one night.
That's not a good
It was
idea.
night. It was dark, and I heard something. And of course, Buster the dumb dog. He's not like the greatest
Poor dumb
watchdog. You
dog.
know? He's cute, but he don't know what's happening. Yeah, I mean, he's like, my life is so
certainly
good.
ugly.
Everybody got this right. You guys are protecting me, right? That's how he lives. And I hear something, and I'm like, what am I hearing? And I go and as I'm kind of like going down the hall from our hallway here, you can see the doggy door, and I look and I'm like, it looks like there's like a figure in the doggy door. So I'm like, as I get closer, I'm like, dude, there's somebody crawling in my doggy door. And I had just had some work done with some contractors and stuff
Yeah.
in the yard. So I'm always aware of that. Like these guys can see that there's a way into my house from the outside. Bro, I go grab my gun, I grab a flashlight, and I'm like, oh, it's go time. Like they are in a terrible, that's called the fatal funnel, by the way, but it's a
Right.
really, really good fatal funnel because it's the most legit tight funnel. They ain't going nowhere. So I'm like, I full on got my gun and the flashlight, and dude, I'm like, I come back around, I'm up on the top of that thing, and then I jam that bright light inside of there, and it's how old is Haley?
She's 12 now.
So she was maybe
Older.
10 or 11, and with her little friend, they're both in the thing, and I'm like, obviously, I'm not an idiot. I'm not just gonna be like, you know, I didn't even point the gun at him. You know what I
Right.
mean? I just
Yeah.
kind of had it at the low ready, is what it's called.
Yeah.
Anyway, dude, yeah. So that's a separate
Yeah.
story. All right, Grace.
That's crazy.
How much are you seeing? By the way, real fast to finish that story, the lesson was, hey kids, don't do that.
Well, because
Or
my kids
give
are
someone in the household a heads up if you want to surprise us, but make sure at least one person knows so that dad doesn't kill you.
Yeah,
Your uncle doesn't kill
my
you.
kids are her
if you
age.
don't know it, then you're still gonna kill him.
No, because then like somebody be like, no, maybe don't. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just saying.
I keep firearm by my bed, but I keep it a little bit away because my kids come home at weird hours. My son comes home like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
He leaves at 2 a.m, goes to get steak and eggs, come back. So I don't want to just shoot my son.
No, yeah, that's good
for no
thinking.
reason.
Hey, that's good thinking.
Hey, there he is.
Oh, hey, let's get Buster in the shot here. Good old Buster Mac. That's what it's like recording at the house. He don't care. All right, so Grace,
Yes.
how about let me ask you that? Growing up as a cop's kid, you got any
He's not in
thoughts
the
on
shot.
that? Like, how's that going to go? Like, poor Alan's kids. Can you relate to like them having to deal with their dad being like a cop and having guns laying around?
Oh, totally. But I mean, I was never scared of guns. I was just scared of being kidnapped or killed, or all of those things. Head on a swivel.
Yeah.
And
thinking.
everybody's out to get me, and trust no one, and all of those things. But I now
things.
feel like those reign true, and I feel like I have a better radar than most people. Like even yesterday, Bella and I were leaving the movie theater, and I saw a man who was clearly following us. So then I like said something like out loud. I was like, "Yeah, Bella, there's this creepy man following us," and she was like, "Oh," and then he turned right around because there was workers and stuff
It
around
would have been
us.
funny
so.
though if his car was parked right next to you.
Yeah.
Well, we were inside. We were
Okay,
inside.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here he was, some really nice 20-year-old guy was about to talk to
He
you
was
guys.
not 20. Not 20. Not
He was
20 years
85
old.
years old.
Yeah.
Not 85.
Yeah.
He was like 50s.
Not 85. He was like 50s creeperton.
So he was like,
Like
dangerous,
us.
creepy. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like John and I.
my radar, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't trust anybody, and I don't care.
I
There's
agree.
workers around me, and there's random
Right.
people,
Great.
so...
Yeah, well, that's a good point. I was talking to someone earlier today that there are different fear. Like I don't have fear walking around at night.
Yeah.
Whereas
I do.
Whereas you do, right? Yeah.
Right.
Like you have to think about those things. Whereas a creepy guy following me, I'd be like, "What the heck? This is like."
Hey, look, I'm
this
about to have a
weird."
new friend.
Yeah, it's, no, I would be like, if he comes, I'm just gonna kill him. I would do it because I would just be like,
With
"Hey,
your
guy."
bare hands?
Yeah. Yeah, I have skills.
Okay.
He does.
Yeah, I have.
He
I mean,
has
I've
a
never
certain set of skills.
certain set of skills. Yeah, I will not kill you with a
Okay.
gun like these two. But
So,
but
look,
that's
Scrappy.
interesting. Yeah,
But I mean, okay, so we talk about, unfortunately for my kids and yours, I'm sure, and probably yours even now, of course, especially because how the world is, where we kind of put this a little bit of fear in our kids, though we know God always has them and will protect them. But there is a certain sense of having some responsibility for and awareness of your own surroundings, right? Yeah, obviously. So that's in the real, like, physical world. But let's get back to the social media stuff. Like how you said, there's people who are just kind of like verbally attacking us, saying all stuff. Clearly they found us, however they found us, and they don't like that we're talking
Yeah,
about
this comes
Jesus.
up on a reel.
But the point is, when you're on social media, these kids have no option almost, I think in their mind, but that they have to be on social media. So then how quickly and easily can they become stalked? Can people get to know everything about them? And then they think that they must like them and know things about them, even though they really don't. They're just reading those profiles.
Well, we've talked about that with my daughter. She's a victim in social media. But I want to ask a question as part of that question. Could you get off social media and not be on it ever?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think so.
You could?
I think so.
Because I think it's very addicting for people.
This kid right here maybe
Maybe.
would be the
I
wrong
think
kid.
I think I really could.
You really? Okay, that's good.
I don't scroll a lot. I will scroll on Instagram. Now that I have like a business on Instagram,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard. Like I have to go on there, but I don't have any of my notifications on.
That's good.
So I don't feel obligated to go on
Yeah.
and check things.
That's, okay,
But she's
that's good. 'Cause I
probably-
was wondering. I think my daughter would be like, "Nope, I need it."
My son probably
It's like
would
glued
too.
to her
Yeah,
hand.
she's probably maybe an unusual case.
See, I think my son is
You
the
know?
same way. I think he could. I don't even think he's really on social media that
Yeah.
much. He has a few things, but yeah, he don't even.
I like Facebook because my like great aunt and uncles are on there, and
Yeah,
my
old people
grandparents,
do that.
you know.
Mine
So,
for
so when I
cars
post stuff, they're like, "Oh my gosh, so good to see you." You know?
yeah. And they have full-on conversations in the comments.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, yeah.
I think that's fun.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's fun.
Instagram, it's like, "You look beautiful."
Yeah, the comments are so
awesome.
Yeah.
Have so much
I don't
fun.
even know. I've never even really looked
Yeah, no,
at it.
that's
I send you
interesting,
videos of dog videos and stuff to make me laugh. I scroll and
Yeah.
watch all the dog videos. The new one's out is that little. You ever seen the new with the dogs, the two dogs, and one's like, "Hey, my name is Jeff."
No, but you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
have
I'll
to share
send
it.
it to you. It's
Okay.
hilarious.
'Cause those
Your
are-
dog
I feel
would
like
be
that's like
great.
2016.
Yeah, the
Well, it just
new
came out
ones
again.
from
There's all
15 years
everywhere.
ago.
Decimus Meridius.
My name is Jeff.
Well, they got two dogs. One's like, I'm Maximus Aurelius, and the other one's like, my name is Jeff. This stupid dog. Your dog would be perfect for it.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he's a real idiot. Okay, so
I think he's great.
He's
very
good.
friendly.
Yeah, he is very friendly, and he has a cowboy hat. I should make my wife put his cowboy hat on, and we can get him on at least a shot of him.
Yeah, we'll do that.
He wears it and hangs out with it.
Yeah, he really likes costumes.
Yeah.
So that we
And
can sort of
sweaters.
have like,
It's like his dad,
if we can
John.
sort of have like this, I don't know, tie it back into a single topic, which has to do with maybe identity, social media comparisons. We kind of started with that. If we could kind of bring that back to that. If you're looking at like social media, Grace, from your perspective, when you're looking at kids in college and all your friends, does it look like that's almost all it is fantasy, not real? Or do people, other than the weird ones that super cried on the election night kind of stuff, for the most part, does everyone just use that to create a character?
A lot.
What's that?
I enjoyed watching
Those are
everybody
funny.
cry.
But does everyone use that just to create a character? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not on it. I'm actually literally asking. It's almost like you get to create whoever you wish you could be.
You are on it all the time.
Yeah.
I think that my perspective would be different because, well, one, I go to a private Christian school, so a lot of my friends are like outwardly speaking, their biblical beliefs,
Like outspoken
and
believers,
outspoken
basically.
believers. They say like when they're having a bad day, they'll like post like their journaling for other people to see. So I feel like that's different than say my high school Instagram feed. I feel like my high school Instagram feed was people trying to be like, I'm popular, I have friends, I'm going out, I'm doing this. Oh, I just went to dinner here and I did that. Whereas now in college, it's like I'm reading my Bible and this was my notes, which I guess could still be a comparison, right? Because maybe
look
I'm
how
not getting
spiritual I am.
right, totally.
Right.
No, totally.
Yeah.
But I know those girls, and they're coming from a genuine place,
Okay.
and so it's really genuine.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's more real from my college friend group, but there still is that like, well, I'm going out and this is this restaurant that I was at this weekend, and I'm out of town this weekend. So that you could compare yourself to that, but
I will
you could
say-
choose not to.
I do see stuff like that, but also like, I would like to try that restaurant. So thank you.
Totally. Yes.
No, I
No,
agree.
I
I do
tap
do
on
that.
that, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I do that.
Great
I'm like,
marketing.
thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do that. I see
Yeah.
it.
Is
I'm
your
like,
kind of perspective the same, you
Yeah,
think?
I mean,
No, we
it's,
don't care.
it's okay. All right. I'm not. Why am I here? Just get tattoos, I guess.
Yeah.
just get your butterfly
You
tattoo.
gotta
and
get
Let's
that
go.
tramp stamp done.
Yeah. Well, I think it's similar. I think I view it as, when I see those things, it's like, what is the goal of these posts? Like sometimes, like you get caught in the engagement. Like if I'm posting about my journaling, I want people to engage that. I want people to say these different things. I want people to respond to me, and so that's my perspective, is that it does still have that kind of feeling like you're trying to compare yourself or trying to get this sort of response from your friends, and that is a hard reality. I think that people are trying to put something out there and get feedback that they're doing something good, and that I think is also can be dangerous too, because if you're trying to get people to respond and say you did good, great, I love that journal thing, and it's just like there's that like dopamine hit that's like, yes, I did good. I don't know if it actually is meaningful, or if even if that person did, if we don't get a response, like it's like, oh, no one said that I put my journaling out there and no one said anything. There can be those kinds of responses as well, and so it's a hard thing. I mean, it's mostly marketing is really what social media is for. Is I'm marketing my life, as I'm marketing my ability as a person who's a Christian. I'm marketing like, oh, you can trust me. I'm marketing these things, and there's a lot of that kind of thing going on. I think mostly is that it's a lot of it is look at me, at how good I am, regardless of if it is good or not. It's just something that is something that you have to deal with. You have to kind of get into your own heart and say, what is the purpose behind this? What is I perfectly curated my pencil or my pen next to my journal, next to the Bible, and I also got this really cool book that I'm really proud of reading because I'm smarter than you.
Yeah.
And there's those different things. And
That's why I keep all these books in here. I've never even opened one of them.
You read all of these?
Yeah.
I've never even opened them.
But
no,
You have encyclopedias.
Yeah,
old
it's like-
school.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I know.
But, and all I have to say is
wait, Seth's still going,
sometimes
sorry.
there are really good things there.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are really genuine.
Yeah, that's true.
But sometimes people, in an attempt to be genuine, are trying to get responses that are not necessarily that are meant to feed their own
Yeah.
egos.
I actually have an authentic example of somebody who posted something recently on her social media
Yeah.
that I found I thought it was genuine and challenged, I guess, her friends and followers. But she posted about identity, and
Okay.
she was like, so often we create our own identity. Her example was, I've always told myself that I can't run, that I'm not a runner, and so I can't run.
Yeah.
I'm never going to run, so I'm not a runner. She was like, so we literally claimed that our identity, oh, I can't do this, or oh, I can do that, and that's who I am, or I'm a planner, I'm an organizer, and that's who I am. I'm nothing else, and I can't grow to be anything else. And so she was like, so recently I was like, no, God called me to do, whatever I put my mind to. Nothing's impossible with God. And she was like, so today, maybe I will try running. And she said that she ran 5 miles straight.
Whoa.
And she's never
Nice
ran in
opener.
her life. Right. Nice opener.
Yeah.
And she was like, so I challenge you, what's your identity? What are you speaking over your own identity? And how can you challenge that? And she left a little question box. She was like, feel free to talk to me. I'm here, if you want to talk about what is holding you back, or what you claim to be, and how you can challenge that. I thought it was really good.
Real good.
I like it. We got to
Yeah.
wrap it up, but got last thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, think about that.
That was a perfect ending.
Yeah,
actually.
because what a powerful thing to do is you can actually still use it for a force for good, which
Right.
obviously we try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's even why we're doing this, is just to try to be
Yeah.
a ministry. Is there any kind of, what are your thoughts on even just a listener? We barely kind of scratched the surface of a little bit of this kind of stuff, but I do love that thought right there.
My thought on what?
Kind of like this whole thing, the comparison, the identity, just sort of just kind of wrapping that up, and even off what
we've
Grace
had an
just
episode
pointed
on
out.
identity, right, with
Yeah.
college kids,
Yeah.
and when they don't have that anymore. But
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have an identity. I don't know. I've never thought about it. It's weird that you saying that. I'm like, what is my identity? I'm like, I like to sit home and watch TV, so I'm a TV watcher.
And how can you break out of that? Or how can you grow from that?
Go outside with the neighbors and
You go
ring
chase the
people's
kids down that
doorbells.
ding dong ditch in your house,
I'm a
man.
ding dong ditcher now, man.
they would be like, "There's a creepy guy following me."
Nah, you just got me thinking. I gotta get out and do more. I gotta go do more now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Great.
you could be like, "I'm not a TV watcher. I'm going to be a TV watcher." 'Cause
Yeah, right.
God,
Great
God
show.
can
I
make
was just
me
telling you
a
about
TV
Silo. It was a great science fiction show. If you ever got Apple TV.
But
It's awesome.
with the
I watched
comparison,
one season in 2 days.
Nice.
Right. Yeah, you should get outside.
I don't
You
have
should
a
get
job.
outside. Yeah. But comparison, it's funny with comparison because we every
make it
time
quick. You were very long-winded last time. Hurry up.
every time you say comparison, you're saying sin at the end of it.
Oh.
Yeah. So whenever you
Okay,
That was very
exactly.
okay.
I
So
don't like
I know it's comparison. It's a sin to compare. Okay.
right, we're gonna wrap
there
it
you
up.
go.
I'm glad Seth is back, though.
Yeah, me
You
too.
know,
you're not.
he gives us something to make fun of later. Just
All right,
kidding.
well,
Yeah, exactly. I knew you were.
Grace, thanks for coming
Thank
on,
you.
kid.
Thank
I
you
think
very
to
much.
conclude that your identity is in Christ, and that
Thank you.
what you
That's-
claim your identity to be, you can grow from, you can expand, but ultimately your identity is in Christ. So,
If you're a believer, you're a child of the Most High God. I love
amen.
that.
Like it.
What a smart
Very
kid.
good.
All right. Thanks, guys. Be blessed.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.